Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Happiness from Within. Today, I have an amazing guest. His name is Bernd Bissinger, and he is an incredible gentleman that has a really incredible story to share. So he started applying the medical medium protocols, and he's actually was able to heal his body at a very deep level. And today he's going to actually be sharing his story. And so I actually have him here on the line. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So where do you reside in?
In Germany, near Stuttgart. It's like 100 kilometers, a small town, 100 kilometers from Stuttgart.
Okay, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you originally from Germany or are you just living there now?
Yes,
Oh, you are.
yes,
Okay. So
I am.
do you
But
speak
my
like
wife. Sorry,
say again?
my wife is from Peru.
Your dad's from Peru?
My wife.
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, great. So do you speak a little bit of Spanish too?
Yeah, quite a lot.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
That's always a great skill to have.
yeah, yeah.
So we really want to thank you for being here on the show at Happiness from Within. Our mission is to touch people's hearts and souls at a very deep level through interviews.
It's awesome.
So
That's my mission too. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. So let's go ahead and so you're from Germany, and tell us a little bit about your background growing up as a child. Any sort of health challenges that you started to have?
Yeah,
Where did all of
I
that
know.
begin?
Yeah, as I now know from medical medium, I have scoliosis since the beginning of my life. When I was a little child, I was diagnosed with scoliosis, and now with medical medium, I know that this stems from heavy metal, high load of heavy metals, especially mercury. And so this makes totally sense to me because now with the diagnosis, I have multiple sclerosis. And this, according to Anthony, is a combination of heavy metals, especially mercury, and the virus Epstein-Barr. And so in retro perspective, you say, I could totally understand why I got this diagnosis of scoliosis, because he also says that it gets passed down not via genes, but via the bloodlines from your ancestors. And I have the phenomenon that my mother had multiple sclerosis, my grandmother had multiple sclerosis, and so this is like the third generation.
Wow. Wow, that's really, really deep. So tell us what started happening when you started learning about medical medium. Did you just start with celery juice? I mean, what sort of kind of pain were you having? Because I mean,
Yeah.
you're like in a wheelchair, right? I mean, somebody listening to this right now, I mean, those of us that have two legs don't even appreciate that. I mean, you've had to go through so much. So I would love to go deep. Let's go deep.
Yeah.
Like, so this obviously started since you were a child, right? Like, were you in and out of hospitals? Like, what did that look like for you? What your parents, I
Mm,
can imagine, were probably going through so much with you at such a young
At the beginning, there were on just little signs like the scoliosis. Then later on, when I was studying in the university, at the university, I noticed that I had like, but it was not severe depression, but I had like episodes that like it was like lack of motivation, and I was sad from time to time, and so it was kind of depression from childhood as well, and then my youth. And this is also a sign of heavy metals according to Anthony, so this also made sense. And then when I studied business administration, certified as well, and then I started to work at one of the big audit companies, also in Spain. That's why my Spanish is fluent. It's better than my English, actually. And so I was working as an auditor in Spain as well, in Madrid, for nearly 2 years. Then I changed back to Germany, worked there like another 4 years in the same company, but in the German, how do you say, dependency. So it was easy to change when the great crisis came. Was like in 2007 to 9. I was in Spain. Yes, in 2009 I changed back to Germany, and then I began to notice signs, because I had always in the back of my mind I had that I'm running the risk that I get diagnosed with this disease as well. But they said always to me, it's not so probable because I'm a man. Normally, it's more probable that it gets passed down the same, like the female line. And if I'm a man, it's not so probable to get it. But then Anthony as well says that it's like dormant, the virus, and it can be dormant for like years or decades even, like in my case as well. And then the majority of the people gets diagnosed with like 35. My mother was diagnosed at around this age as well. And so it was exactly the same with me, like 35. And I was preparing myself for the tax exam, and tax, how do you say? Tax counselor exam. And this was a course that I took at a weekend, 1 year. For 1 year it was lasting. And then I had like 3 months ahead that I was not working. And I just entered in this the phase. And then there began like the problems. Like I had vision problems, I had dizziness, I had could not walk straight. And then, of course, I went to the doctor. And then like odyssey of exams began, and they were looking for the course, but I already like had the feeling that that's it, because I was like wearing shirt or every day. And when I was starting to in the morning to put on my shirt, to button up my shirt with the left hand, that's right now my right side is still like I would not say perfect, but it's nearly perfect. And the left side, my paralysis is like on the left side, the left arm, the left leg, and foot. And so I began starting like feeling that my hand is not working well. I cannot button up well my shirt. And so I already had in mind that now this could be the problem. But 1 year, this was 1 year before even, when I was still working in audit, and then it went away. And sometime later, the walking problems began. And so that's when everything started. I how do you say, I quit the job. I left. I wrote a car that I cannot longer work there. And so I was off like 1.5 years. I was also diagnosed with burnout because there was so much happening. Like 3 months later, my mother died, and I was getting married just before she died, 1 week in Peru, because here it was difficult. And so it was a very troublesome time. And so I ran straight into a burnout, and I worked until I think it was beginning of February the following year, in 2013. I think it was 13, yes, and 12 I was diagnosed. And then it took me only like 6 years to get in the wheelchair. I have a special form of MS. There are like only 10 or between 10 and 20% of the people diagnosed with MS have this form like I have. It's like the PPMS, the primary progradiente multiple sclerosis. It's like I don't have like the flares. I just have like it's worsening slowly, very slowly. And when I look back like 3 months, I'll notice that the worsening. But I cannot notice it from the last week. It's that slowly, But even so, in 6 years, after 6 years, I was in the wheelchair. So this is like really a very aggressive strain of the EBV. And so I tried everything under the sun, every approach, and nothing worked until I found finally the medical medium protocols. And this
When did you
changed the whole world.
when did you
Sorry?
start using a wheelchair? When you were little?
No. It's just like we are now 8 years ago. No, 8 years ago I was diagnosed, I'm sorry. And the wheelchair was just 2 years ago.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so you find medical medium. Oh yeah, you're having your lemon water. Very good.
Coconut water, actually.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Great. So you find medical medium, and what is it that you start doing? Do you start with celery juice, or what book do you start reading? Like, I just, for somebody that's listening, because
Yeah.
he has a lot of amazing books, and it can get very easy with anything that you're learning to get overwhelmed. So just somebody that's listening, tell us, like, what did you start with? Did you just start
Yeah.
with lemon water? Like, what was it that drew you in about medical medium?
It was like I put it on my list. I had like a reading list on Amazon, the books I wanted to read, and it was long. And so then there was the first recommendation was like, my medical doctor said to me that there are signs, indications from recent medical studies that indicate that there is the EBV virus, Epstein-Barr virus, involved. And they did not know how, but there were like indications. And he told me that, and never heard of this, by the way. I never heard of this study again. Like medical medium always says, when you get too close to the truth, then the funding, they take away the funding of these studies that are getting too close to the truth. And that's why I never have heard back of this study later on. But this was enough for me. I had kept this in mind, that he said to me that somehow this virus has to do with MS. And so I was, in the following years, I was always searching in Google for the combination MS and Epstein-Barr virus. And but I could not find the medical mediums books yet, because they were not out. And then for some years I did not search, and until I found this book someday, and I put it on the list. And then I went to online in-person training. It was like a marketing a mixture of marketing and spiritual training. And there a person which did not know my diagnosis, and I was still walking normally, like she could not see it, and I was hiding it. I would not tell, not even my friends, of the diagnosis, and I was hiding it like, I don't know how many years, but for I think 4 years I was hiding the diagnosis. And when my left leg begins to, limp, then I said like I had an injury on the knee actually, and so I could easily put it to the injury on the knee, but actually, of course, also it was like signs of MS. And so it was not until 4 years ago it was like 4 years ago, 2012 diagnosed, 2016 I first talked about my diagnosis. And this was like the hardest part for me, because as a man, it's like a weakness to admit that you have this disease. And so that's why I was trying to hide it all the time. And from the family background as well, I think it was also like put on me that it's not good talking about your illness and stuff like that. And from my mother, and so, but it was like liberating very much when I finally began to talk, first in only the friend circle and a training as well that I did, NLP, which helped me a lot with the mindset. And and then finally I was somehow prepared on the way. Then I found medical medium by the recommendation of this how do you say, colleague from the training, because she said, wow, you in the healing, because I was like in the energy healing field. I started to work with energy healing, and then she said to me, wow, this book, you have to read this book. This would be I'm sure you would like it very much. And so I thought, like, my medical doctor said, like, they have to do the virus has to do with the diagnosis. Then I did a Google search again, found the book, put it on my list, had this recommendation, and then I said, I have this. This is a sign. I have to read this book, and I skipped the other books that I wanted to read on the list and put it first. And so this was like a blessing, because I read the backside of the book, and there it says there is no such thing as incurable illness.
Which book was this?
The first book, which I would recommend everybody to start with, the first book.
Let me grab it really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm just getting excited. Those that are watching, they're like, what book is he talking about? Here, this one.
Exactly.
Can you read the title of it for us?
Secrets behind chronic and mystery illness and how to finally heal.
Okay, continue.
That was the magic.
Please, I got excited. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then I could not put the book away. I read like page after page after page, and so many clients of mine have told me they had the same feeling like me. Everybody I'm talking to tells me, who has read the book and has some kind of chronic illness, tells me that I had the feeling like this book actually was written personally for me. And I was so fascinated, because I had this feeling as well. And I knew immediately, not everybody has the feeling, but I had the feeling from the first page, this is the truth, because I had so much approaches, tried so much approaches, which did not work. And so I immediately knew this is the truth. And it was making totally sense, everything that he was explaining, because I had the question to my doctor, why is it not, because science first said it's genetical, then they said it's not genetical, but there's something like a connection. And how do they say now? They said genetic predisposition, they say. And to me, that means there's somehow a connection, but they don't know in which the connection consists. And so, and he was explaining the connection with that the heavy metals get passed down from the ancestors. And I knew my mother had it, my grandmother had it, and the medical doctors at that time, my grandmother fell ill. They were bathing my grandmother in mercury. Can you imagine? This was like in those times, this was the approach to treat MS, diseases like MS, to treat people with mercury, exactly the thing which is making, which is the cause of this disease, in connection with the virus, of course. And it's making it worse. And my grandmother was like, she could not speak. When I got to know her as a little one, she could not speak. She was totally paralyzed. Her arm was shaking. And this was a horrible approach in these days. And this is actually where the word quack stems from. Because nowadays, all the people think that quack is for because now it's used for alternative doctors, quack, like bad word. And in those days, actually, it was applied to the medical doctors, because they were treating the ill people with mercury actually. And so I knew this is the truth. This makes totally sense to me, and so I could not stop to read this book. And I read the first chapter or two chapters, and then I jumped to the chapter 4, I think it is, where he says what to do, how to apply the things. And then afterwards, I read all the introduction because I wanted to start right away. I was so impatient. And so I started with, of course, like you said, lemon water, celery juice. I implemented everything. Only the heavy metal detox smoothie I started a little bit later because it's quite detoxing. But what I did as well, I started the 28-day cleanse, which is fat-free. And I skipped all the fats out, all the no foods out at the beginning. I did like nearly everything except the heavy metal detox smoothie. But I had like detox symptoms like hell for 3 weeks. But then I was like much better. And this was like the confirmation for me that this is it. And I was not afraid because of the detox symptoms. I would not recommend this radical start for other people. I would start slowly, like I recommend now to everybody if I would start over again. But it was good for me because I was totally convinced. I was not afraid. I expected, or I knew this could happen. So I did not have any fear. What is going on right now? I just went through it, and then everything got better.
Wow, that's amazing. So how long have you been using the protocols of medical medium? How many years now, or months?
It's now like I have taken notes. I think it's a little bit more than 2 years. Where did I have? Just
That's
a
okay. You can
second.
just give an estimate. It's no
No,
problem.
it's 27 months exactly.
Wow. Okay. So 2
27.
years and 2 or 3 months. That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we now fast forward today. So I understand that you're still in a wheelchair, but you had mentioned that you are actually able to use a walker a little bit, right?
Yeah. For like if I'm there are days it's like that. The good days, bad days, and on good days I can use it like for 1 hour, but it's not, you cannot imagine it like walking 1 hour. It's just like I'm sitting in for example in the on the table where I eat, and then to get to the bathroom and to get back. But most of the time I'm sitting anyway, or like on the desk like right now. And so it's just basically what I'm walking, and walking is like exaggerated. It's more limping with the help of the wheelchair to the bathroom and back. And I'm doing that like, actually it's like about an hour, and then I'm totally exhausted.
Yeah.
And but what I immediately experienced, that my brain fog lifted in like some months. I had no brain fog, no fatigue, which just hit me before I found medical medium some months ago. Started 1st of August in 2018, and in the summer, during the summer, I got hit by, for the first time after all these years, for the first time I got hit badly by brain fog and fatigue. So I could hardly do anything. And I was like, I had 1 hour of concentration per day, 1 hour. And the rest I was like, and right now I have even more mental energy and concentration than ever in my life. I can imagine that when I worked in audit, I worked like some weeks without pause because we worked at the weekend as well. That was like high season, and I was exhausted afterwards. And right now I can go on like crazy and concentrate the whole day. And this is like a huge blessing. And then after 1 year and 3 months, 15 months, I was symptom free. Can you imagine? Many people confuse symptom free with I can walk now. There's a big difference. I had like my tremors in the feet, in the left leg, and it was like tingling and numbness and aches and pains, and especially nerve pain in the spine, which I had like 24 hours a day for 7 years, and this was so horrible. And when this went away, it was like, wow, can you imagine? And this is like record time, because normally the people need years to kill bugs, just such bad bugs like in the bug I have right now, which is very aggressive. And so this is like record time, only 15 months. And I was so happy. And of course, if you get your mind power back and stuff. So, but I need patience right now it will take some years more to be able to walk, but I have not the slightest doubt that I will get to this point. And the greatest blessing is that I can inspire other people to take this road, which is a totally natural approach. And it's actually working, not like all the other stuff that I tried and so many other people tried, and most people get desperate after some time. But I knew there is a solution out there, and I will find it. And that's why after quitting audit, I started to study nutrition, because I had the feeling the solution lies in nutrition. And so I wanted to study at the best school there is. And I actually studied in online in the US at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which is the greatest school for health coaches worldwide. And Munisa, the famous Munisa, which also had the interview with you, and I'm in her team now as an admin. Also studied there, and many famous people studied at IIN. And so I was so happy to have studied there later on when I found out that Munisa even studied there. So this was like perfect for me.
Wow, I had no idea that you were a graduate of IIN. I'm actually going to be graduating at the end of next month. So,
oh wow!
So we're all in IIN family. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's amazing. When did you graduate IIN?
Good question. 2015 I started. Yeah, it's 1 year. 15, I think March 15 to March 16.
I'll say it's 2016. Okay, so about 4 years ago.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
that's amazing. So for those of you listening, so IIN is the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. So those of you that are interested in getting an online certificate from, as Bernd said, the best online school, I definitely recommend for you to check them out. I'll actually put the link below. You can get some more information on that if that's something that resonates with you. So, so I want to also say, when you start walking again without your wheelchair, we have to do another interview. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a future interview. Okay.
Yeah.
So I also just really want to acknowledge you, because as we had mentioned earlier, those of us that, you know, can do the daily functions of walking and doing all these things, sometimes we don't realize what we have until we lose it. Right. So, I mean, this is like a battle for you each and every single day, but all of these victories that you've been having of healing yourself, and you look amazing, by the way. I mean, healing your mind, which is like the first important thing, right? Yeah. And your soul, and, you know, you were talking about all these, your foot having this pain, but, you know, it's like you've come such a long way. I mean, that's amazing, amazing, amazing. So I just really want to congratulate you for the progress that you've made. I mean, that's amazing. Somebody that's listening to this right now, maybe they have MS, right? And you've given that one person hope, right? That's the goal here at Happiness from Within, is to touch even just one person's heart, you know, to help them come out of the darkness and into the light, right? So I really appreciate you for sharing that. So my next question for you is, what does happiness from within mean to you?
That's a good question. Actually, for me, to be happy is to laugh when I laugh, and especially I make other people laugh. I can make other people laugh, inspire them, like why I love doing this interview so much. And this is like my life purpose now. I was all my life, I was like kind of lost, because I had no life purpose. I worked in finance sector, which was only making like rich people richer, which did not see any deeper meaning in it and sense. And it was like everybody against everybody. Like there was a lot of pressure. The peers, my colleagues, the boss, and then the clients. Of course, they did not like to be controlled, and so it was like a hostile ambience surrounding. And so I did not feel great, and I knew I liked the analysis and the numbers, which I can use right now, the health coach as well, but in a different area. But it was not fulfilling. And if you can live your life purpose, that's happiness for me. And that's what I found as well with medical medium. And that was actually the greatest blessing of all the blessings that I experienced with medical medium.
Have you ever met him, or did you get a reading from him at all?
No, but maybe someday.
Okay, that's
Looking
beautiful.
forward to that.
So tell us a little bit about your work that you do now. So for those of you that are watching or listening to this, so I actually did an interview with Muneza. So you guys can actually check that. I'll put the link below. So you actually work with her. That is
Yeah.
like amazing. But yeah, tell
Yeah.
us, now you're doing something that you love, but how does that work? Do you work from home? Do you go to an office somewhere? I imagine you work. But yeah, tell us a little bit about what you do, and you can tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about Muneza too. She's an amazing soul.
Yeah, that was so awesome, because of course everybody tries to get a reading, a session with medical medium, but this was in 2018, and I think he stopped giving sessions to, how to say, normal clients or new clients. That's better expressed. In 2017 already. So the secretaries wrote me, we are sorry, he does not take on any new clients, just doing his frequent clients and writing his books. And that's why the information is out there in his books. So you can find everything you need. He put some links for me in the email. And as well, I think she referred to the healing ambassadors, and Denise is part of the healing ambassadors. And I don't remember quite well. Yes, she said like there are online courses from Munisa. And so I was looking for Munisa, of course, firsthand, and then for online programs. And I subscribed to one of these programs. And then I did one program after another. I did like 4 programs in a row. And after that, I think it was actually this year in March, I was invited from her she asked me whether I wanted to be an admin in her team. And I was like, wow, this was like a dream for me.
Wow.
Since I started, I was so fascinated by her personality and her soul. And so I think I had a special connection to Munisa herself, like from the beginning. And all the healing successes that I experienced during the program got the attention of her, I think, maybe. I don't know. And so she has like intuition as well, of course. And so she maybe had a good feeling to take me on her team. And I was like, really? Couldn't believe it. And so this is like also like means the whole world to me, like the whole medical medium stuff. And so of course working with Munisa is like the greatest thing I could imagine.
That's amazing. I really appreciate you sharing that. So before we commence, is there any words, anything that comes from your heart and soul that you'd like to share with the audience? It could be about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about medical medium, but just anything in your heart to touch people's hearts and souls at a deep level.
Yeah, I would definitely never, I have maybe a special gift. I don't know. I would never give up. And so the situation was not the best I was in, but I had hope and faith. And of course, I had moments as well that I was completely desperate. But the next day, I got myself together and got up again. and was looking for another approach, trying another approach. And so I think the most important thing is to have faith, to faith, to never give up and to keep going. And when starting with medical medium, of course, you need patience and perseverance. And so, because a lot of people say, like, I have now done medical mediums so many months, and I did not experience how do you say any benefits yet, or healing benefit successes like I did, because not everybody from it depends. He says, like, it depends how toxic you are, how high is your virus load and the virus composition, because the most of the people do not just have one strain, they have different strains, and even different viruses, different strains, plus heavy metals, other toxins. And so the more toxic you are, the more time that you will need to get out all these toxins. And I at least was so lucky to get like healing successes after months. So in the first month I felt better as well. And so yeah, that helps, of course, a lot. But what kept me going was in the end was my faith, I think, and the hope that I had. And this is so crucial on this journey.
Wonderful. And where can people find you? I'm going to put the links below, but if you can give your Instagram name.
Yeah, Bernd Bissinger, like Bissinger, like my name. And I have actually two accounts. There's another account, Bernd Bissinger 2, where I share my personal story.
Oh, and really? Okay.
Bernd Bissinger is the main account where it's basically the professional account, and then the other one is like more the private account. And my website, of course, berndbissinger.com, like my name as well. And yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, we'll definitely make sure to put the links below. So really want to thank you, from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for sharing your story here at Happiness from Within.
Thank you so much. I wish you...
Say again?
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, thank you so much for listening here at Happiness from Within, and we will catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, fabulous day.